To animate Jack's facial expressions and mouth movements, the animators used hundreds of hand-sculpted replacement heads. Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
As kids, we saw magic. As adults, we see obsession. The Nightmare Before Christmas wasn't casually made.
Like holiday specials when I was growing up. So when I was working at Disney, I designed something that's sort of like the reverse of that.
It was sculpted from sleepless nights and thousands of tiny movements, 60 characters, 200 sets, 400 Jack heads blinking on worktables like silent spectators. 3 years for an 80-minute film, and we missed the strangest details back then. But not now. Let's uncover 40-odd unsettling and brilliantly strange truths you only notice once you're old enough to see how weird this movie truly is. Fact 1. Christmastown doesn't react to a walking skeleton. When you're young, Christmastown looks perfect. A cheerful postcard with singing elves and peppermint everything. But watch it now and the whole scene feels off. A 6-foot skeleton in a suit crashes through snow, pokes into windows, and sprints across rooftops. And the townsfolk react like he's just another day's delivery. Not even one scream, not one shocked gasp, nothing. It's the kind of blind optimism only a sugar-powered toy-making society could pull off. The elves smile, Santa hums, and Jack practically stage dives into their streets without so much as a raised eyebrow. Christmastown isn't magical, it's dangerously unobservant. And once you realize how clueless they are, the next truth stings even harder. Fact 2. Disney fired Tim Burton for being too weird.
I'm crushing his drawings.
Before The Nightmare Before Christmas ever played in movie theaters, it started as a weird idea inside Disney, one that the studio wanted to hide forever. Back in the early 1980s, a young Tim Burton worked as an animator. He loved drawing ghosts, skeletons, and sad monsters while everyone else drew happy animals. He pitched a short film about a skeleton who discovers Christmas and falls in love with it. Disney's answer? Complete silence. They thought it was too dark and too scary for kids. Instead, they gave him a different project called Hansel and Gretel. Burton filled it with robot warriors and creepy candy creatures. It showed once on Disney Channel and gave kids nightmares. Then he made Frankenweenie, a touching short about a boy bringing his dead dog back to life. That was too much. Disney fired him for making things too strange. And so that odd little story he wrote, the one about Halloween colliding with Christmas, got locked in a vault. For almost 10 years, it sat there collecting dust until one day Disney showed up at his door again. Fact 3. Santa is the first mature adult Jack meets.
What? Consider this a vacation, Sandy. A reward. It's your turn to take it easy.
Everyone in Halloween Town treats Jack like he's perfect king. Hero, celebrity, resident, skinny legend. Then Santa shows up and delivers the one thing Jack has never experienced: accountability. He doesn't yell, he doesn't panic, he hits Jack with the ultimate adult weapon: disappointment. Santa talks to Jack the way a tired dad talks to a kid who's just thrown a baseball through the neighbor's window. It's blunt, calm, and painfully honest. And for a moment, Jack isn't the Pumpkin King. He's the world's oldest teenager getting a life lesson from a man who has absolutely no patience left. But the real shock comes from what Jack thinks he's capable of next. Fact 4. Tim Burton didn't actually direct the movie.
I think he might be too big. No, he's not. If he can go down a chimney, he can down.
Everyone calls it Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, but Burton didn't direct even one scene. The real genius behind the movie's magical movement was Henry Selick, a stop-motion expert making his first full movie. While Burton was busy finishing Batman Returns, Selick and a big team of animators worked hard in a San Francisco warehouse, building Halloween Town one tiny frame at a time. They moved each puppet by hand, 24 small movements for every single second of film. Burton's drawings became real characters through Selick's careful and detailed work. Jack's smile, Sally shaking hands, even Zero's glowing nose all came from the hard work of hundreds of hidden artists. Burton may have imagined the world, but Selick made it come alive. His stop-motion directing turned simple drawings into characters with feelings, giving movement to sadness and rhythm to the impossible. It was an unusual partnership, one man's imagination, another man's patience, but together they created a holiday dream that would keep moving forever. Fact 5. Making the movie was pure torture. What looked smooth and easy on screen was actually incredibly difficult behind the scenes. The Nightmare Before Christmas took almost 3 years to make, with over 100 animators working frame by frame, moving puppets, lights, and props just a tiny bit at a time. It wasn't regular animation, it was a test of patience and strength. Each second of film needed 24 separate photographs. That meant spending months of work just to finish a few minutes of the movie. Jack Skellington alone had over 400 hand-carved heads for every smile, grin, and scream. Sally's hair moved on invisible wires, Zero's ghostly body glowed from a thin sheet of latex, and entire sets were torn down and rebuilt to fit each new scene. Animators called it stop-motion hell, but through all the tiredness and craziness, they built something amazing, a living world made of stillness and patience. Every flicker, every shadow, every heartbeat of Halloween Town came from human hands. And when it was finally done, the nightmare moved. Fact 6, Jack performs his failed Christmas night like a job well done. Jack's Christmas delivery run is a total disaster. Kids screaming, parents panicking, police sirens wailing, national emergency alerts blasting. But when Jack looks back on it, he treats it like a standing ovation. He's soaring over rooftops, tossing nightmare toys into people's homes, and somehow believes he's spreading joy. It's like watching someone burn dinner, flood the kitchen, crash the car, and then cheerfully announce, "Nailed it." Jack doesn't even realize he's terrifying the entire country. He just pats himself on the back and calls it success. And his final wake-up call doesn't come from guilt, it comes from the military. Fact 7, the military shoots Jack out of the sky. When you're little, the night sky exploding with lights looks like fireworks. But no, those aren't fireworks, those are anti-aircraft missiles. The government literally launches a full military strike at Jack because they think he's a hostile threat. Homes go into lockdown, news anchors panic, and fighter jets aim to take down one very confused skeleton in a red suit. It's the most realistic scene in the entire movie. The adult world reacting exactly how it would if a supernatural creature started breaking into houses. Jack's sleigh isn't magical, it's a target. And after being blown out of the sky, he makes a decision that's somehow even stranger. Fact 8, Jack tries to scientifically dissect Christmas.
You've poisoned me for the last time, you wretched girl.
Jack returns home and immediately does what every overconfident adult does when they don't understand something. He tries to figure it out with science he absolutely does not possess. He boils ornaments, crushes candy canes, cuts up teddy bears, and studies Christmas lights like he's discovering electricity. It's Christmas as viewed by a man who has never read a science book but owns a lab coat anyway. Every experiment ends with disappointment because he keeps dissecting joy and expecting it to explain itself. Christmas is emotional magic, not a chemistry assignment, but Jack is determined to break it until it makes sense. And the deeper he digs, the darker his real motivation becomes. Fact 9. Disney wanted to give Jack normal eyes. When Disney first saw Jack Skellington, they got scared. A skull with no eyes? Too creepy, too empty, too wrong for a main character. The bosses wanted to give him pupils big, friendly, cartoon eyes that audiences could relate to. But Tim Burton and Henry Selick said no. They explained that Jack's personality didn't come from his eyes. It came from his movement, from the gentle way he tilted his head, the curiosity in his actions, and the sadness in his voice. They fought against the idea and won, though Disney wasn't happy about it. The company quietly moved the film under its darker Touchstone label, keeping it away from the main Disney brand. But that choice saved Jack's character. His empty eye sockets became part of what made him special, showing feelings without emotions, spooky without being mean. In the end, the skeleton who wasn't supposed to work became one of the most loved characters in animation history. Jack didn't need eyes to see, he just needed curiosity. Fact 10 Oogie Boogie says Santa Claus correctly.
There's children throwing snowballs instead of throwing heads.
Here's the wildest twist. The villain of the movie understands Christmas better than the hero. Oogie Boogie, a gambling-addicted bag of bugs who tortures people for fun, pronounces Santa Claus perfectly. No confusion, no spooky remix. Meanwhile, Jack, who claims he researched Christmas like a scholar, transforms the name into Sandy Claus, which sounds like a beach monster made of sandpaper. This single detail proves Jack didn't learn anything. He simply Halloweenified every part of Christmas. When your boogeyman has a better grasp on the holiday than you do, something has gone very, very wrong. And the next person who sees the truth about Christmas isn't Jack, it's Sally. Fact 11, Sally's warnings come true. Sally isn't dramatic. She isn't overreacting. She's the only one in the entire movie with common sense. While everyone else worships Jack like he's the skeleton version of Elvis, she's quietly predicting the exact disaster that's coming. Her warnings aren't vague, they're spot-on prophecies. She literally tells Jack his plan will fall apart, Christmas will get destroyed, and someone will get hurt. And of course, she's right. Every single time. It's like watching the one sane coworker tell everyone the project will fail while the boss screams, "Let's do it anyway!" And if her foresight wasn't impressive enough, look what else she notices before anyone else. Fact 12, Zero's glowing nose is a macabre Rudolph reference. Zero leading the sleigh feels adorable when you're young, but as an adult you realize this is basically Rudolph's ghost. That cute glowing nose, it's not a bulb, it's a floating, flickering spirit flame. It turns one of the sweetest Christmas stories into a spooky remix where a ghost dog guides a skeleton Santa through the sky like he's leading him to the afterlife. It's charming, but unsettling. Rudolph helps Santa save Christmas. Zero helps Jack accidentally ruin it. Same job, totally different vibe. And that little twist is nothing compared to the strange secrets hiding in the holiday forest. Fact 13. Two different people brought Jack to life.
And those are good for general purpose joints. And hinges are really
Jack Skellington wasn't just one man, he was two. Actor Chris Sarandon gave the Pumpkin King his smooth, dramatic speaking voice, while composer Danny Elfman sang every note that showed Jack's sadness and loneliness. Elfman didn't just perform the songs, he felt them deeply, using his own experiences as a musician caught between being famous and feeling empty inside. He poured that pain directly into Jack's search for something more in life. Sarandon matched Elfman's style so perfectly that most viewers never realized two different people were involved. Together, they created one character split in two, the dreamer and the voice inside his head. That's why when Jack sings, it doesn't feel like acting. It feels like he's telling the truth about his feelings. Fact 14. It started as a 3-page poem.
I first wrote it as a poem called The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Before it was a film, The Nightmare Before Christmas was just a weird little poem, 3 pages, written by a young Tim Burton in 1982 while he still worked as an animator at Disney. Growing up in sunny Burbank, he never saw real seasons change, only the decorations in store windows. One afternoon, he watched as Halloween masks came down and Christmas lights went up. And for a short, strange moment, pumpkins and snowmen sat on the same shelf. That image stayed with him. The mixing of holidays, the crash of different moods, the beauty in something that shouldn't exist. He imagined a world where Halloween tried to understand Christmas. And from that curiosity came Jack Skellington's story. It wasn't supposed to be scary. It was supposed to be sad and sweet, a celebration of being different, of loneliness, of wanting something brighter. From that quiet moment in a department store aisle, Burton's poem grew into a legend. Proof that sometimes the strangest dreams start in the most ordinary places. Fact 15. Tim Burton refused to make a sequel.
I couldn't draw in the Disney style.
After The Nightmare Before Christmas became hugely popular, Disney saw a chance to make more money and wanted a sequel. In the early 2000s, company leaders suggested a follow-up that would have sent Jack Skellington on another holiday adventure. But there was one big problem. It would be made using CGI computer animation. Tim Burton said no right away. Jack is pure stop motion, he explained. If he ever moved like a computer, he'd lose his soul. For him, the magic of Nightmare wasn't just in the story, it was in how it was made. The feel of clay, the small mistakes, the human touch in every single frame. One strong refusal from Burton ended the sequel idea right there. No CGI, no remake, just one perfect film that stayed exactly as handmade as its hero. Fact 16. The voice actor didn't know how it would end.
So they knew what kind of voice they were looking for the speaking part of Jack Skellington.
When Chris Sarandon stepped into the recording booth to voice Jack Skellington, He didn't have a complete script, just scattered pages and rough drawings. He recorded scene after scene with no clue how the story would actually end. Months later, sitting in the theater at the premiere, Sarandon finally saw the film in its finished form. He watched Jack fall, get back up, and find his purpose again, all for the first time, just like everyone else watching. "It felt like seeing a dream I didn't know I'd had," he said. That surprise made his performance feel even more real. Every line, every moment of amazement came from a man exploring the same strange, beautiful world that still captures fans' hearts today. Fact 17, Danny Elfman still performs The Songs Live Every Year.
What's this? There's people singing songs. What's
More
this?
than 30 years later, Danny Elfman still brings The Nightmare Before Christmas back to life every Halloween, performing the complete music live with orchestras around the world. Each October, he steps on stage as Jack once more, smiling beneath orange lights, his voice filling up packed concert halls. "What's This?" becomes a song sung by thousands of people, a shared moment that brings the film and memories together. For one night, Halloween Town comes alive again. Every ghost, every monster, every lonely dreamer. The magic never disappears, it just waits for the season to return. Fact 18, Jack doesn't re-enter through the Halloween door. We see Jack enter Christmas Town through the Christmas tree door. Cool, clear, makes sense. But when he leaves, he doesn't return through the Halloween door. No, he pops up through a gravestone like someone respawning in a video game. That single moment destroys the established travel rules we were just shown. Why even have door portals if you can just drop into your world through random tombstones? Did every monster know this and just not mention it? Were they all using graves like secret shortcuts? It's pure chaos disguised as world building. And where that gravestone leads opens an even darker question. Fact 19 Grave Travel suggests Halloween Town might be an afterlife.
You must be double dead.
Jack crawling out of a grave wasn't meant to be sinister when we were kids. But now it looks like a giant neon sign pointing to one conclusion. Halloween Town might literally be a version of the afterlife. Everyone is undead, stitched together, immortal, or made of bugs. Nobody ages, nobody dies. And Jack emerging from a tombstone like it's a subway exit just seals the theory. If the holiday door sends you to Christmas, the grave might send you back to death. It's a creepy layer the movie never comments on, but never denies. And once you start thinking about these portals, the next problem becomes impossible to ignore. Fact 20, the holiday doors aren't guarded. For something this powerful, gateways into entire dimensions, you'd think someone would stand guard, add a lock, or at least rope the place off. But nope. You can just stroll into Easter, Christmas, or possibly exploding firecracker land with zero supervision. Kids could wander in. Monsters could wander out. And apparently no one cares. This is like finding the keys to every government building just lying in a park. The holiday worlds aren't magical, they're unsecured entry points to universal chaos. And the next question makes the forest feel even more unfinished. Fact 21, the origin of the forest is never explained. As kids, that forest of holiday doors felt magical. As adults, it feels like someone forgot to fill in half the lore. Who built it? Who maintains it? Why does it exist? Why are there only a handful of holidays? Nothing in the movie even hints at an origin story. It's like stumbling onto a cosmic shopping mall where every store leads to a new dimension and nobody left an instruction manual. The whole place looks ancient, meaningful, and extremely important, yet absolutely no one talks about it. And once you start pulling at that thread, Jack's behavior in the next part gets even more suspicious. Fact 22 adults wonder if Jack tried stealing other holidays before. Jack discovers Christmas for 5 minutes and immediately decides, great, I'll take it. That confidence raises a big adult level question. Is this really his first time hijacking a holiday? He jumps into leadership mode way too fast. He holds town meetings like he's done this before. He delegates tasks with the confidence of someone who has already attempted a few disasters off screen. It's not hard to imagine Jack bursting into Eastertown one year and announcing, everyone stop, I'm the bunny now. The movie never confirms it, but his behavior tells a different story. And that ego problem becomes painfully obvious when you look at his personal life. Fact 23, Jack's midlife crisis is the real story. Jack isn't curious or bored. He's having a full-scale identity meltdown, the kind where you dye your hair, buy a motorcycle, or switch careers at 3 a.m. while listening to sad music. His songs aren't cheerful, they're therapy sessions in rhyme. He feels empty, pointless, and trapped in a job he didn't choose. Christmas doesn't inspire him at first, it distracts him from himself. The whole movie works as a holiday musical and as a painfully relatable portrait of adult burnout. And that crisis only gets more chaotic when you look at how his emotions spiral next. Fact 24. His Christmas obsession is basically mania. Jack goes from burnt out to turbocharged in minutes. One moment he's lying in a grave singing about feeling nothing, and the next he's holding seminars, planning invasions, rewriting holidays, and assigning everyone jobs they're wildly unqualified for. It's not passion, it's mania wrapped in snowflakes. He doesn't sleep, he doesn't listen, he doesn't question anything, he just charges forward like a skeleton on energy drinks. Halloween Town thinks he's inspired. Adults recognize the warning signs. And that unstable energy becomes even more obvious when you look at how he got the job he's stuck in. Fact 25, Jack's forced role as Pumpkin King.
Your silhouette, a dark blot on the moon. You.
The movie sells Jack as Halloween royalty, but listen closely. His song doesn't sound proud, it sounds trapped. I'd give it all up if I only could isn't the lyric of a happy king, it's someone stuck in a lifelong job he never applied for. Halloween Town worships him, but it also cages him. He performs the same role every single year with no break, no choice, and no exit plan. That's not a crown, that's a contract. Adults hear the lyrics and immediately recognize that feeling. Being the best at something you don't even want anymore. And that sense of obligation makes his next leadership decision even worse. Fact 26, Jack sends his most important mission to the worst crew.
It's great to be home.
Jack needs someone he can trust to escort Santa safely. So naturally, he picks the three most chaotic, least responsible, and morally questionable children in Halloween Town. Locke, Shock, and Beryl are basically walking red flags. Their job history includes kidnapping, sabotage, and working for Oogie Boogie, yet Jack hands them the most important task of his entire life. He could have chosen Sally. He could have chosen literally anyone with a functioning moral compass. But no, he sends three gremlins with a bathtub vehicle. It's leadership at its worst. And his next mistake proves he hasn't thought anything through. Fact 27, Jack doesn't understand consequences until he's shot down.
I don't believe what's happening to me.
For most of the movie, Jack behaves like he's living in a cheerful musical where nothing bad can actually happen. He tosses haunted toys into children's homes, terrifies entire neighborhoods, and triggers emergency alerts. Yet he doesn't realize the seriousness of it until missiles start lighting up the sky. It takes anti-aircraft fire actual explosives for Jack to go, maybe this isn't going well. It's the adult version of thinking your plan is flawless until reality slaps you in the face. And when reality finally hits, Jack still makes one more baffling move. Fact 28, Jack lies to Halloween Town about Christmas.
No, now that's all wrong. This thing will never make a present.
Jack comes home from Christmas Town with the confidence of a man who skimmed one Wikipedia page and now thinks he's a professor. He spreads Christmas misinformation like he's giving a TED Talk, and the town eats it up because they trust him blindly. He gets every detail wrong, the traditions, the tone, the meaning, yet he sells it all with a perfect straight face. In today's world, we'd call this confidently incorrect. It's not that Jack misunderstands Christmas. He misunderstands everything about Christmas and still acts like an expert. And that craving for attention reveals an even deeper issue. Fact 29, Jack wants fame but is never happy with success.
Well, I may as well give them what they want.
Jack sings about being the best, the brightest, the leader everyone loves, yet nothing satisfies him. Being adored by his town? Not enough. Being the Pumpkin King? Boring. Pulling off a flawless Halloween? Routine. He's addicted to applause, but numb to achievement. Christmas becomes his next big stage, not because he respects it, but because he needs a new source of validation. It's the adult struggle of chasing success that never feels like success. Jack is a celebrity with a burnout soul, and after chasing that hollow spotlight, he finally learns something real, but in a very strange place. Fact 30. His cemetery apology reflects adult accountability.
The whole thing starts with a box.
A box?
When Jack crashes into the cemetery, something shifts. The musical drama, the ego, the excitement, all of it falls away. He sits among graves and finally admits the obvious: I blew it. It's the first moment of honesty he's had with himself. No excuses, no theatrics, just acceptance. Adults understand this scene in a way kids can't. It's the moment you own your mistakes, apologize to no one but yourself, and decide to try again the right way. And of course, Jack learns this lesson in a graveyard because this movie never does anything normally. And while Jack is sorting himself out, Halloween Town has its own twisted problems waiting. Fact 31: Halloween Town celebrates Halloween wrong. When you're a kid, Halloween Town feels thrilling, spooky music, creepy creatures, and weird decorations everywhere. But watch it again, and you realize something hilarious. None of them celebrate Halloween correctly. No candy. No trick-or-treating. No costumes, because they are the costumes. Their idea of festive fun is lighting skeletons on fire and cheering like it's a sporting event. It's not Halloween. It's a year-round horror talent show. They don't understand the holiday any more than Jack understands Christmas. And their wild misunderstandings make the town's work schedule even more ridiculous. Fact 32. The town works all year for one event.
Objects so peculiar, they would not to be believed, or round things to tantalize my brain.
Imagine working 365 days straight to prepare for one single night, and then immediately starting over the next morning. That's Halloween Town's entire lifestyle. Every resident spends the whole year planning, building, practicing, screaming, singing, scaring, all for one evening of applause. It's the world's worst work-life balance. No vacations, no days off, no hobbies, just Halloween prep forever. Adults look at this system and see burnout, exhaustion, and an HR nightmare. They're basically running an unpaid Costco sample shift that lasts a year. And the most ironic part? Their fear king might not even be the scariest one among them. Fact 33, Jack might not be the scariest resident. Jack is tall, dramatic, and great at entrance music. But when you start judging actual fear factor, he's not winning any awards. The monster hiding under the bed, pure nightmare fuel. The clown with the tearaway face, terrifying. The vampires, creepy. The werewolf, aggressive. Jack, he's politely spooky. He's like the horror version of a fashion model, all style, minimal threat. It makes Halloween Town's obsession with him even funnier. They treat him like he's their ultimate weapon, while scarier creatures are just wandering around buying groceries. And if Halloween Town's fear ranking makes no sense, its leadership structure is even worse. Fact 34. The mayor gives orders. Even though Jack is the king,
First award goes to the vampires for most blood drained in a single evening.
Halloween Town's political system seems to be based on pure nonsense. Jack is the king, yet the mayor acts like the boss, ringing doorbells, assigning tasks, declaring emergencies, and basically running the whole place. Meanwhile, Jack is allowed to disappear for days and nobody knows what to do without him. The mayor panics like a middle manager who lost the company password. It's unclear who's actually in charge, which explains why the town falls apart the moment Jack stops supervising. It's leadership chaos disguised as whimsy. And that chaotic system becomes even darker when you look at how they treat one resident in particular. Fact 35, Sally lives as a prisoner under Dr. Finkelstein.
It's a phase, my dear. It'll pass. We need to be patient.
Sally's storyline is the part nobody noticed as kids because it's actually disturbing. She's locked away, controlled, drugged, assigned chores, punished for disobedience, and literally created to be someone's captive companion. Dr. Finkelstein treats her like property, not a person. He even builds a replacement partner when she refuses to obey him. It's not quirky, it's abuse. The town knows this, shrugs, and goes back to singing. In a world full of monsters, Sally's situation is somehow the darkest thing happening. And the worst part is, everyone sees it, but nobody does anything. Fact 36. No one helps Sally escape, even though everyone knows.
Make way for a very special guy.
Looking back, the wildest thing isn't that Sally is trapped by a mad scientist. It's that the entire town knows she's trapped and just collectively decides, not our problem. Jack knows. The mayor knows. The vampires know. Literally everyone. And still, they treat Sally escaping her captor the way people treat someone sneaking snacks into a movie theater mildly amusing, not alarming. Halloween Town loves drama, screams, and danger, but apparently draws the line at basic human rescue. And after seeing how blind everyone is to Sally's suffering, the final animation details become even more bizarre. Fact 37, Sally's hair color changes in all merchandise. In the movie, Sally's hair is a muted brownish red, soft, dark, and stitched into her design. But in every piece of merchandise ever created, she's suddenly rocking bright, fire engine red hair like she's starring in a Halloween shampoo commercial. It's one of those details kids overlook, but adults catch immediately. It's basically a branding decision that rewrote her entire look. The movie gave her earth tones. The merch team said, nah, give her loud red, it'll sell better. And that's not the only design choice that makes zero sense. Fact 38, Jack blinks despite having no eyelids.
I believe it was our most horrible yet. Thank you, everyone.
Jack Skellington is a skeleton. A literal skeleton. No muscles, no tissue, no skin, definitely no eyelids. And yet, throughout the movie, he blinks like he's starring in a moisturizer commercial. His eye sockets somehow shrink and expand like they're made of rubber. It's one of those things you never question as a kid, but as an adult you suddenly realize that's not physically possible. Not even in cartoon logic. It's just animators going, he needs expression. Give him blink powers. And the next detail is just as strange and even easier to miss. Fact 39, the mayor's spider only has 6 legs.
Great Halloween, everybody.
The mayor's outfit includes a creepy crawly spider stuck to his chest, cool detail, right? Except the spider only has 6 legs, not 8. It's basically an insect wearing a spider Halloween costume. Was it a mistake? Was it a design shortcut? Did Halloween Town run out of legs? Nobody knows. It's one of those tiny errors that only becomes obvious when you're old enough to say, wait, that's not how spiders work. And if that wasn't weird enough, the final detail breaks all logic completely. Fact 40. The clown removes his face with no bone or tissue. The clown with the tear-away face is terrifying in the best way, but also makes zero anatomical sense. He grabs the edges of his face like it's a Halloween mask and just peels it off cleanly. No bone, no tissue, no structure, just empty space where a skull should be. It's creepy, funny, and utterly impossible. Even in Halloween Town, where monsters bend the rules, this one breaks them like they never existed. It's the perfect final reminder that this movie isn't trying to make sense, it's trying to unsettle you while still looking adorable. And somehow, that balance is exactly why adults love it even more now.